Mic check. Hi. Good morning. Awesome. So I'm returning to my normal news review, and I'm just going to keep doing it, especially while I'm in the most communistic city I've ever been in my life. And I've been to Mexico. Been back to Mexico, I should say, because I'm definitely carrying on my great grandma's legacy of escaping socialism and not allowing this evil to affect the future of my children and grandchildren. I'm her great grandchild, so she got, and it definitely affected my mom and my grandma. They were not independent, free women, but they thought they were in the context of your independence is bargained for and dependent on this or that. So no, I'm not going to pass that on. My kids and my grandkids are going to be 100% free, no strings attached to their freedom. I'm going to sever them now, and then we're going to have a normal life in the decade it'll take to do a fair job on that. Because holy shit, did every single mom in America, especially in the Twin Ports here, just decide that this was going to raise their kids. And you have completely abandoned your children, neglected them, haven't taught them shit about defending themselves in the context of their birthright of the one American law. And it's disgusting. Well, it's horrifying actually. And that's like, I came into a lot of grace today on that, especially having to leave because of the socialist violence here against my life, 2 years running now. Started here in 2020 on campus only since May. So the physical threats came with being physically on campus. And it was also actually really awesome to speak to an officer at the university. His name is Jaden Stone. And he wants to be preventative. And it was super great to email him a bit of that reality. I have chicken in the oven. 1 second. Let me give it a few more minutes, to email the reality of how socialism via the cartels took over a lot of the South and California, and then it's here. Like, and I recognize it because I've lost friends to it who've been murdered by cartels for political views. And I forget how, because I fell under that spell too when I was a teenager. Like, it's a good sell because it's saying, hey, just be nice, and then you guys will all live in a utopia. Yeah, only though you got to keep doing what I say. Okay, smiley face, like on Instagram, and that's how insidious socialism really is. But it always ends in mass murder, child exploitation, usually sexual, for a lasting servitude. And so that was actually awesome to write up and then share with the officer and make that impact. And I do think my grandma would. She wouldn't be proud of me yet. Again, her family was executed and she was raped and tortured and had to flee. So I think she's obviously still expecting more from me, as I feel like her spirit in that way. But she would be like, good on ya. Please keep going forward. Don't sit on a couch again for a year and watch cartoons. And like the trafficking evidence, there's somebody in the chat right now selling children. And I wish death to you, person in the chat. And if you're a slave yourself, I wish freedom and then some sort of recourse so you don't, continue also. So your story is heard. Sex slaves usually become trafficking people themselves. And that's why right now, even the Deliver Fund, Veterans for Child Rescue, any group that should be championing actual results is still hiding behind their own failures. So decades running, because people have been aware. You've all been watching porn. You know it's been child porn because they're teenagers, and and that's been common knowledge actually for a while. So once our government officials could admit that they've been watching child porn instead of freeing children from sex slavery, then I think we have a real step forward. Anyway, I'm having coffee that I made into a little espresso, peanut butter, sesame sandwich. And I'm just going to make this review quick. Again, my First Amendment is all I have, so I'm going to use it till I fucking die. And then hopefully I'll get a Second Amendment someday. And then I won't have to rely on screaming and defending myself constantly from the morning minute I wake up until I get myself to go to bed at night. Won't that be a future? Okay, so Fox News. I've been doing let's see what other people are considering as fact, because I still love my people, even though they're the worst right now. Just still doing what the tyrants and the government tell them to, because the fear of losing the convenience for them is more than the fear of losing freedom. I've been there, though. I get it. We have nice conveniences here. Okay, so this is Joe Biden 16 hours ago, and this is from Fox News. U.S. considers supplying Ukraine, Eastern European allies with 100-mile strike weapons. Yeah, when Trump takes office back, he's going to bomb Moscow. I don't know why you're not just bombing Moscow and getting production up in the name of America and getting the citizens the money you stole from them in the largest act of tyranny in all of human history, which was keeping people from their livelihood for your own political drive in 2020 with the lockdowns. So that's all there. And then I've been like, all right, what do the fuckers at CNN think? I'm also having just plain lemon cake. And this was $2, whatever box recipe it was. And no frosting. I made frosting and it was garbage. I tried to put cocoa in white frosting, but it just tasted like plastic. And I was like, this doesn't need frosting. Ooh. They're just covering soccer on their homepage. So cool. I wish I could get into soccer. I really look forward to it. One of the first men I dated was a Liverpool fucking resident citizen. And I loved the nuances of England and his perspective on America, because he's a history graduate. And so he was into soccer, and I've just never gotten into it, but I know I'll enjoy the diplomacy and noticing that kind of cuckery and the skill, but also the cuckery and the fuckery. Yeah. And then the last one that was really noticeable that I wanted to talk about, because and I said this in my earlier stream, talking about the geopolitical changes with Russia, and then their stronger affiliates in major countries like China and India, having a pivot in Africa. And so I don't know which video it was, but in one of them, this happened back in spring following events. You had an old gold guild in Egypt break. So this old familial, historical, diplomatic guild broke. And so it's fun to see when partnerships based on heavy metals or like an old kind of currency start to drift, because then you're going to notice change from a singular product or change in commerce. And so Ghana, we'll see what Nigeria does. Ghana is no longer trading in the US dollar. Smart. They're going to do gold. And I love that, because that now keeps Americans honest, because they can't devalue the own dollar to do like the jerry rigging, the union bullshit, bargaining fucking garbage that everybody's so over, invents nothing, creates nothing, just moves shit around, and it just causes like stagnation at some political party's convenience. Fucking hate it. And so I think this is brilliant, Ghana. Good on you. You demand that gold currency, and people start to watch just fucking something that you can consistently keep track of. And gold is a fun example. I'm not that into gold because I generally don't like gold. I like silver, but I like it like a little bit, and then I like the history of it. So I wish to learn more about it, and I wish people would comment and talk about their analysis of the gold trade. All right. I love you all begrudgingly.